So I was sitting here yesterday, I was drinking a little wine, and I was eating some of my favorite chips. They're called Beanfields. They're actually made out of beans, one of those healthy hippie things that I do. My 2-year-old daughter loves them, and my wife, and I've been actually crushing them into our salads instead of croutons for many years. So we're sitting here and we're making dinner, and when I was scrolling the internet, I saw that Beanfield just got purchased by Boosh Foods on Friday, just a couple days ago. And I'm not much of a stock trader, and I don't really dabble much outside of commodities. So this is not me giving financial advice or anything like that. But I was just kind of looking at it, and with all the fear in the markets and the stocks looking obviously severely undervalued and no one really knows what's going on, and the news with Beanfields being bought hadn't really hit the market yet. So I thought I'd get creative and just kind of break down a little bit of what's going on. So first, Beanfields are quite tasty. They are all over the place. First, they were just kind of a little Southern Californian type of food. Then when my wife and I moved to Maui, we found them there. And then now I live in Utah, and they're literally everywhere now. They're like as popular as Doritos. And data said when I was looking around, they're in about 7,000 stores, and they're doing about $11 million in annual sales, which probably 500,000 of those dollars are coming from me and my wife. So Boosh trades in the US under the ticker symbol VGGIF, and it's just a little $10 million market cap company. But they just purchased Beanfields on Friday after the market closed in an all-share deal, and they just announced it. And so it's kind of interesting because Beanfields' 2020 sales were higher than the entire market cap of Boosh. Just looking at the basic math, they're certainly multiples below the standard valuations. Boosh valued at 10 million, Beanfields did 11 million in sales. But with all the fears in the market and the Fed saying inflation is higher than expected and it's actually 7.5%, it's kind of an interesting trade to consider. And like I said, I'm no trading expert. I'm certainly not giving financial advice or telling you to trade. But with this channel growing, I've just been kind of thinking about getting more creative on financial videos and having a little bit of fun. So I thought I'd kind of break down what happened in this deal and the future of Boosh with my cherished Beanfield chips. So I reckon that Boosh, which trades as VGGIF in the US, purchased Beanfields so they could not only solidify themselves as a legitimate food brand, but they added an $11 million leg to their business, a growing chip brand that basically gives them access to distribution for all their other products. And so I was just perusing around, and Boosh also has about 5 or 6 other food products of their own. So if I was the CEO, I'm assuming that I'm looking at this transaction really not only as a way to increase revenues, but a distribution arm to get their products into over 7,000 nationwide stores, because that's what Beanfields has access to. So growing brand, and they increase the revenues obviously drastically by adding Beanfields, and they get distribution to drastically increase their revenues on the rest of their products. So I was looking around and I was like, I respect this CEO, because the CEO actually does not take any salary. All of his compensation package is tied directly to the company, which very few CEOs are willing to do things like that unless they really believe in the company. Imagine what the world would look like if all the CEOs were willing to actually produce a quality company and get paid in direct proportion to the value that they add to the marketplace. But one can only wish. So let me know in the comments if you've ever bought the good old-fashioned Beanfield chips. My favorite are the lime. And, as I was just kind of looking at it, I thought it'd be a fun video. And I figured that the trade is kind of interesting to consider, because institutions are, just looking at math. What are the most undervalued companies? And right now everyone's freaking out about the market. And the news that they just purchased Beanfields just only broke on Friday after the market closed. So I figured that most people won't really realize the valuation of the company by adding Beanfields for a few more days, or maybe longer than that if everyone's freaking out about the markets. And it could be weeks if the psychology of the market continues to breed fear and uncertainty. So I thought this is kind of an interesting trade. Nice place to look at. Like I said, my favorite flavor is the good old-fashioned jalapeno lime ones. My daughter is now a big fan too. She likes Cajun flavor, so she really likes the barbecue ones as well. So I was just thinking, all right, I focus on commodities, but here's a company that I'm eating every day. I saw the news pop up on my internet, and cruising around, you got Boosh valued at $8 to $10 million market cap. They buy a company in an all-share deal, Beanfields, that's worth more than their entire market cap. It's released after trading hours while everyone's freaking out about inflation and is the stock market going to crash? Oh my gosh. When you look at the valuations, I mean, you're probably looking at this company being severely undervalued relative to not only where it should be on the news, but just relative to its competitors. So just a quick fun fact recap. So Boosh is traded in the US as VGGIF, and they got a market cap of 8 to 10 million, and they purchased my favorite chip company, Beanfields, and my favorite crouton company in my salads, which did about 11 million in sales. And it's kind of a bizarre situation where they purchased a company that did more in sales than their entire market cap. But since it's a cool hippie chip and they released the news after market on a Friday and everyone's afraid of market crash, nobody seems to realize the huge revaluation yet. And I'm no trading expert and I'm not pretending to be one, but it's clearly one of those rare times when we're in this world where assets reflect literally nothing of fundamental mathematical reality, whether it's stocks or whether it's real estate. And you got this rare situation where you actually have a company that's doing that. They got a CEO that's badass. He's not taking any salary, living like a true entrepreneur. His compensation package is tied purely to the success of the company. And from the looks of it, they've got 5, 6, 7 more products, and they're likely going to pad their revenues with my good old-fashioned Beanfields, and also using the distribution arm to push out the rest of their products and increase their revenues. Because look, they're in 7,000 stores, I think is what the press release said, and they're even in my podunk town in Utah, where most people's favorite chips are Doritos. No offense. Another cool side note when I was looking through is they actually have a decentralized operation. We talk obviously a lot about this channel with the financial system and the centralization of the financial system. And just in my little company, having a decentralized operation allows us to really move quick and on scale. And so they got a decentralized operation with no headquarters, which is really something that allows you to pivot and move on the fly. So let me know what you think of today's video. Is this, first of all, a company that you eat their chips? If you haven't yet, I recommend the jalapeno lime. My daughter would say she recommends the barbecue, or my wife would say she recommends the nacho flavors. So let me know in the comments right there down below. Is this an interesting trade, not interesting trade? Just trying to have some fun with some unique content here on the channel. So make sure you smash the like button on this video. I'll go ahead and link the Boosh website right there down below as well. We'll be back with regularly scheduled programming on the channel covering the craziness happening in the financial markets, and more importantly, what you can do to protect and prepare yourself for these interesting times. So thanks for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time.